with the flow.
Very nice, very nice.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is, your boy Narcolepsy Boy 94. AK Malik back here again with another episode of the podcast. Today, doing some Elimination Chamber predictions, talking some other wrestling stuff too with some guests who are all first time on the channel, except for Bird. I believe he's on here once. I think he was the last guy I had on here.
Yeah, I was in here last week.
So I'll let everybody introduce themselves. We'll start with Scott, and then everybody just go in order. So after Scott, Bree, you can go, and then any. So once everybody's done talking, just go in the order, and then we'll just go from there.
All right. Hello, everybody. I am Scott Michael, longtime wrestling fan, huge fan. Just started getting onto the whole social media platform. You can find me at Scott Michael LXG on all major platforms. And very excited to be here. Malik, thank you for having me. And you guys, I'm excited to just sit here and talk wrestling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Bree. You go on.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Bree. I'm a newer wrestling fan, but got into it 2015. But excited to be here. You can find me on TikTok at Bree Stout and on Instagram and Twitter at Bree Stout. And I'm excited to get started.
All right, everyone. This is Henry, also known as Henry Wrestling. You guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube.
Hey, I'm Dee. I'm on TikTok, and I'm really happy to be here to talk some wrestling.
What's going on, everybody? I believe I was here like maybe a week ago, but I go by Bird. You can find me on Instagram at enigma.j7, and then you can find my my wrestling page on TikTok at hbbird. So yeah, this is great to be here. Thanks for having me back. It's always good to talk some wrestling.
All right, so to answer this question real quick, everybody's always asking me this. What do I hang my titles on? So I bought these hooks from Home Depot. It's like these little, basically just hooks you can get like, maybe like $2 for like a hook or something like that. I don't know. If you go to Home Depot, they have stuff you can hang on the walls with, like whether it be hooks or whatever you want to use. I just like the hooks. That's what I usually got. But then they have other stuff too. Some people have like the cases you can buy in the shop, like the boxes you can put them in and stuff like that. So if you want to hang them on the wall, I use the hooks, so I go to Home Depot and get them. So. All right, so let's get into
That's a good idea.
Overall, how you guys feel about this review? Overall, are you guys feeling okay about it, or what do you guys think?
Said about the pay-per-view.
Overall, how do you feel about it? Looking at everything.
I think it depends on the results.
Yeah.
Are you? I mean, from what you were expecting before we get into your predictions, what you're thinking in your mind. Do you think the pay-per-view's going to turn out to be good or turn out to be like kind of average?
I always go into these pay-per-views lukewarm because it always feels so rushed going in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we know a lot of people had a lot of expectations about that Rumble. A lot of people was upset, about how that Rumble was. So.
Yeah, I feel like we did that to ourselves. As far as the Rumble,
I think a lot of us got our expectations too high. When they start talking about Forbidden Door, people are like, "Oh, whoa,
yeah,
what's happening here?" You know what I mean? So people, I think definitely. I mean, I was one of them. I admitted I was like, I was definitely got a little over too excited. So
I was too.
But for this one, I mean, I will say the last show they had in Saudi Arabia, I was really excited for it. I thought it was really good. It was Crown Jewel last year. I thought that was a really good show. So this one it kind of seems like it's just there. I kind of feel like this one is just like there. Then WrestleMania is where everything's gonna start starting to get picked up again. So
it just feels like such an awkward place for them to put a pay-per-view. Like it feels like they're just like, okay, right here, and it feels kind of rushed. Like it just feels too close. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, because they're not having a pay-per-view in March, so this is the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. So I guess since
really.
That's weird because it's usually an Elimination Chamber and then Fastlane.
Yeah, they're not doing a pay-per-view in March, so this is the last one for us.
So it'll be a significant, a little bit more than like a 3 or 4 week build up to what they can do with WrestleMania, which is kind of exciting then.
Because I mean, they go back to Saudi twice a year, so they're going back this year. So I guess I felt like we'll just do the Chamber in Saudi and then we'll just come back and then so WrestleMania. That's why I said things will start picking up, because as of right now, we only really know 2 matches, but there's really not any else that we can really see happening. So that's why I'm interested. Because I feel like on Raw Monday is when stuff should really start to get start to smooth out as far as what
business about to pick up.
I gotta say, I'm really excited for the event of the show. The only thing I'm not stoked about is the time of which it's going to be airing
Yeah.
live. But
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, I enjoy it all, or at least I try to enjoy it all. So I think it's going to be a great show, as long as
The results.
as long as Goldberg doesn't win.
He ain't gonna win.
I don't think anybody's thinking this. So I don't think anybody can Let's start with the predictions. Let's start with the Roman and Goldberg match then. We'll start with Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. So I assume that nobody really thinks Goldberg's going to win. But I mean, you know,
It wouldn't shock me though. It could happen.
I feel like a lot of people
please no.
felt the same thing when he faced the Fiend, you know, and then the Fiend lost. So
Yeah, that was the worst. That was the absolute worst.
that one hurt. That one hurt. But I always tell people that the Fiend isn't Roman. They don't value Roman like they do the Fiend. You know what I mean? So Roman's literally they're a superstar right now. I don't see any way that he's going to lose and not go to WrestleMania that title against Brock Lesnar. I mean, I think this probably be Goldberg's last match if I had to guess.
No, I agree. I think it's going to be a squash match.
See, look, man, listen. I said earlier.
We had this earlier.
I was talking about earlier. Y'all remember in the promo? I said this man said he was going Goldberg, bro. I'm like, bro.
Yep.
Sometimes Roman will say things in his promos and actually do them in the match. So that's why I'm like, oh, no. He said that. I'm thinking he might do it because, like, you know, if you look back last year, he said he was going to pin both Dana Bryan and Edge at the same time. But, like, nobody really, peaked that or whatever. He said that, and then he did it. And he was like, wait a minute. And he said,
Should we take time predictions on how long the match is going to be?
2 minutes.
I give it 5. I'm saying 5 minutes.
Yeah,
5.
I was gonna say 3. Yeah.
I think this will probably be the opening match. I'm assuming the men's chamber will probably close, if I had to assume. But then again,
Goldberg 20 minutes to get there.
I've heard rumors that they possibly. I have heard rumors that WWE wants to re-sign him. So it's like, and another thing too is like, I don't know if Goldberg's really going to have somebody do him the way he used to do people. That's another thing. Like, I don't really know if he's going to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, the thing is if they are going to re-sign him and he's coming in for this match and say he loses, do you think they're going to build him anywhere into WrestleMania, or are we just not going to see him again until SummerSlam?
Possibly he could do something at WrestleMania. I mean, they do. I've heard they wanted some other people there. My only thing is, listen. First of all, I just want to say I like Goldberg. I like the prime Goldberg. I was a fan. My only issue with Goldberg is that when they bring him back, they don't put him in any storylines that make sense. Like, he comes back and continues to get title shots for no reason. Like, why is he continuing to get title shots? When they first brought him back against Brock, I was interested in it. Goldberg back, Brock doesn't make sense. Okay, there's a story there. But it's like, if they brought him back, like, you know, they brought him back and they made the storyline make sense, I feel like at least people may be able to at least get a little bit more into it. But when he continues to come back and he's like, you and me, Universal title. Like, why? Like, he was gone for 3 months.
You and me, you're next. Why? Why?
Final boss coming back.
I just feel like if they didn't involve the title with his feuds, because he doesn't really need to be involved in the title. Like, he's Goldberg. You know what I mean? Like, anything he does.
I feel like if he hadn't had beaten the Fiend, he wouldn't be as hated as much as he is right now.
Definitely. That's the
I
reason
don't know.
I hate him.
I was a little mad when he beat Kevin Owens like that too. Even though I kind of knew
that too.
Even though I kind of knew that was
sucked.
coming, like, you kind of knew that one was coming though, because it was like, all right, you know, he's probably definitely gonna beat Kevin Owens, but like, it still was upsetting. But the Fiend, I agree with the way he beat the Fiend. I was like, yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. I was
because they were building the Fiend up similar, and the way he was the main guy, they were building him up similar, fairly similar to what they're doing with Roman. Like, he was the top guy. So for Goldberg to just come in and squash the Fiend the way that he did, man, that really pissed me off personally.
Yeah, me too. I'm not gonna lie. I think that upset.
So after that, it was just like, I really don't care about seeing Goldberg anymore.
Does anybody think he's winning? Anybody? Show of hands?
No.
I don't think so unless money is involved. But I don't think Roman.
Roman Reigns is talking about though, bro.
See, the thing about that is, like, I tend to put my Vince McMahon cap on and just kind of try to use his mind to think this stuff out. And I was looking at a whole bunch of other videos, and I heard that they were talking about re-signing them just so nobody else can get them. And they were talking about doing something for shock value. And we know that, like, the people in Saudi Arabia love, like, their good old nostalgia and whatnot. So how much more nostalgic could it get to have Goldberg beat Roman Reigns at the hands of Brock Lesnar screwing him? And it's just like, I don't want it to happen. but it might.
You bring up a good point because even though technically Brock won the Rumble, like what if Brock cost Roman the match? Brock can still win the chamber. He's still the WWE champion. Now they fight at WrestleMania for the WWE title. You know what I mean? So
if he wins,
but it's like I also look at how things are, how they value people, and you just know Vince, he loves Roman Reigns. And he's made that clear since
He's money. He's money.
Yeah.
Smart.
As soon as the Shield broke up, you already knew what was coming for that.
Yep.
He loves Roman Reigns. So I doubt he highly loved the Fiend as much as he loves Roman Reigns. I will say that. So I mean, like I would be thoroughly shocked if Goldberg wins this match. I'll say that. I will be more shocked than he beat the Fiend because this is how much they've.
Can I play? Can I just? What if neither of them win?
Ooh.
Look, as long as Roman keeps the title, I don't care.
I'm just saying.
So if neither of them win and Goldberg gets inserted into the main event at WrestleMania?
Oh, hell no.
I hope not, but I'm saying somebody could run in, we could have a DQ, and that continues storyline, and neither of them lose over.
I mean, listen,
anything could happen.
If somebody runs in and when it costs Goldberg the match, and they set up the feud for Goldberg WrestleMania, whatever, as long as Roman Reigns walks out of Saudi with that title, I'm okay. I don't care how this match is. It could be a count out for all I care. I don't care. As long as Roman Reigns leaving with the title, I'm happy. Somebody could come out.
I think the thing that I would enjoy the most, not just Roman retaining, but if he used the jackhammer on Goldberg.
Mm-hmm. To win, use his finisher. Yeah.
That would just. I probably wouldn't even hate Goldberg as much anymore because I would just be like, there you go.
Maybe that's what he meant by he's gonna Goldberg. He's gonna do like one move to finish him off. It'll be like boom.
I'm interested to see. All right, so everybody, we'll go in order. Scott, who you got? Roman, Goldberg.
Oh, I got Roman.
Bree, who you got? Roman, Goldberg.
Roman.
Henry.
The tribal chief. Come on now.
D, you got Roman, Goldberg.
I got Roman.
And Bird, you got Roman or Goldberg?
And I'm gonna just go with Roman because I don't want Goldberg to win. So I'm just go Roman. I need Roman to win.
All right, what about
we all need Roman to win.
I think we all want Roman to win. I mean, I think that's just something that I think it's just something that needs to happen. You know, something that needs to happen. So Lita, Becky Lynch. This actually was a surprise because I was there the night when Lita came out. I was in the crowd when she came out and challenged Becky, to the match and everything. Nobody was expecting that. So I'm a little interested to see this. They said this is Lita's first singles match in 15 years, so I'm interested to see what she can do. I want to see if she can still go in there and do the damn thing. So as far as winning, though, I mean, I think we all got Becky Lynch winning. I definitely don't see Lita.
Again have a weird thing. What if Bayley returns and then we get the triple threat of those guys at WrestleMania? Because Bayley didn't come back for the Rumble.
Yeah,
and that would be.
She's not in the chamber either.
Just saying.
But if you think they bring her back, you think she'll be on Raw instead of SmackDown?
Well, I can never remember who's even on what roster when they come back from injury because it's been like so long she's been gone. But I mean, it's WrestleMania, so it's kind of.
Go
ahead, Scott. What are you thinking?
So, I mean, I definitely, I'm going to say I don't expect Becky Lynch to lose the title. The thing, and I am, like you said, I'm excited to see what Lita can do in the ring. I get so afraid every time she gets up on the top turnbuckle. Yeah. I just don't want anything, catastrophic to happen. So I hope it's a good match, but I definitely don't see Lita walking out with championship.
She did hit that moonsault pretty clean though on Becky on Raw though.
It looked better than in years past for sure. Yeah.
Bree, what about you? What are you thinking here?
I think Becky is going to retain it, but I'm excited to see what Lita can do for sure because I've never actually watched her wrestle, so I'm excited to see what she can do.
You think this will be like a one-off thing? You think she'll be at WrestleMania too, or you think this will be?
I don't know. I think it's going to be a one-off thing.
That's what I'm hearing. I've heard it's probably going to be a one-off thing. Henry, what about you?
Becky Lynch, no questions asked.
D.
Becky's going to retain at the end of the day, either way. I'm like you though. I'm kind of worried about Lita. I hope that she can kind of keep her safe in the ring. But at the same time too, like, what kind of a match are they going to book where they are? Like, how long are they even going to give them? So that's another thing too. Is depending on that, like we might get one moonsault. But no, I'm definitely going Becky Lynch retaining.
Bird, what about you, man?
Definitely Becky Lynch, solely because it wouldn't make sense for Lita to win. So, I mean, I'm expecting it to be a pretty good match. So, excited to see Lita back and doing her thing, but definitely Becky.
Everybody's favorite match is next. No, I don't think anybody cares about this match. Drew McIntyre.
Is there a pre-show? Does anybody know?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's a pre-show or not. I don't.
Poor McIntyre.
I'm gonna show Madcap some love real quick because he had a really good match with Drew McIntyre on day one. I will say that they put on a really good match that night. My only thing is this: he hasn't fought Corbin yet, and I'm just like I'm worried they're gonna extend this all the way to WrestleMania. Like I don't want to see Drew McIntyre.
They probably will.
Definitely.
I don't want to see this match happen at WrestleMania. Like Drew McIntyre should be in a more high match at WrestleMania. So more than likely, it seems like him and Corbin are gonna fight at WrestleMania. But it's a Falls Count Anywhere match. I would expect Drew McIntyre to win, but would it be in Falls Count Anywhere? If Drew McIntyre, I would say this: if Drew McIntyre does lose, then I definitely think this will extend to WrestleMania. If he wins, which I believe he will, probably be over with. Hopefully, it's done in the water. Move on. They can always do this match on SmackDown. WrestleMania, there's no pay-per-view in March. You can do it on SmackDown, get it over with, and then you can have Drew McIntyre face somebody else.
I think they're going to drag it out. They've got 2 nights to fill.
Yeah, I mean, more than likely, they're probably going to drag it out. I mean, I don't see anybody else who Drew McIntyre can face on SmackDown besides Roman, and Roman's going to be facing Brock. So it's like, unless they bring back Cena or something, which we don't even know if that can happen. So it's like, if he's not going to face a big name, it'll probably going to be Corbin. So, Bird, what do you got here?
Drew McIntyre.
Squash
Nothing
match?
much more to say.
You think he's going to beat the crap out of him, or you think he's going to?
Oh yeah, he's going to get his ass kicked. Definitely.
D, what about you?
I think Drew's going to win, but I think Madcap's probably they're going to have a really solid match. I think they're going to let these two go. I think it's going to be a pretty good showing for Moss, but I have Drew winning.
Henny, who you got, honey?
I got Drew McIntyre as well.
Bree?
I got Drew McIntyre as well.
Scott?
All right, I'm gonna have to switch it up, and I'm gonna have to agree with my girl down here. Due to what you just said with the stipulation, and us all thinking that it's gonna be stretched out to WrestleMania and probably having Drew versus Corbin, I'm gonna say Madcap's gonna get the W.
Madcap gets the W. I mean, because it can make sense, if they're gonna send it to WrestleMania.
Yeah, Corbin's gonna get involved, and then that's gonna help him save face a little bit, and then he'll get his match against Corbin at Mania.
Yeah, that should be exciting. Let's move on to the women's chamber match. Bianca Belair, let's do drop really quickly. Morgan. I also believe I forgot one more person. I can't remember what it was. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. No, that's everybody, right? 1, 2, 3.
I think so. Yeah.
What's in this match too? There's one more person. I can't.
Nikki ASH.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Nikki's in the match. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Well,
How bad is it that we
she's
don't
probably
remember
not
who's
gonna
in this match? I honestly forgot half of this match. I'm like, I don't even know who's in it. Well, except for Alexa.
She'll probably be the first one eliminated then.
Yeah, I can see
There we
that.
go. Forgot she was in the match. All right, so breaking it down, I think we all kind of got a similarity of who the favorite could be. So we'll start with Bird, man. Who do you think is going to win this and go on to face the champion at WrestleMania?
I got Bianca Belair. I had seen a couple different stories that they had been kind of like building Bianca Belair back up to kind of like get her revenge on Becky Lynch for what happened at SummerSlam. So I'm going with Bianca Belair.
Bianca, is she the one you want to win too, or somebody else you like to see win?
She's the one I want to win, and she's also the one that I actually think has the best shot of winning. Just looking at all of the other names, I can't really see Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch at Mania. I'm not really sure what sense that I'm not really sure how that would make more sense than Bianca Belair getting her rematch, if that makes sense.
Bree, what about you? Who do you want to win, or who do you think's going to win?
Well, who I want, I really would want Rhea Ripley to win, but I know she won't, so I'm gonna go with Bianca. That's it.
Scott, what about you? Who do you want to win? Who do you think's going to win?
I want, need, and think Bianca Belair is going to win.
D, what about you?
I think Bianca's going to win, but I think this is where they're going to set up a feud in the future between Alexa and Bianca. So I think Bianca's going to win, but I think we're going to get probably a storyline with Alexa in the future with her and Bianca.
Henry, what about you? Who do you want to win? Who do you think to win?
While you guys was having this discussion, having these picks, in my mind, I want Rhea Ripley to win. But hearing all of you guys, I think Bianca will win this match. She needs it because of that horrible booking they did at SummerSlam in 2021, and she definitely needs it to redeem herself with Becky Lynch. So I want Rhea to win, but I see Bianca winning and being the number one contender for WrestleMania.
I'm with you. I think Bianca's gonna win too. I would love Rhea Ripley to win. I love Rhea Ripley, but
Same.
they really gotta vindicate that loss that they gave to Bianca at SummerSlam. Like it's not gonna sit well. It's not gonna sit well, people, unless he goes to WrestleMania and she's the one to beat Becky Lynch.
Well, Becky said though on the Stone Cold podcast, like about it, she said, "What better way to turn me heel than to do that?" But at the same time, then you should give Bianca the massive face pop by having her, get a retribution and stuff.
I mean, what if she goes to WrestleMania? Does the same thing to Becky. You know what I'm saying? She beats her like that at WrestleMania. So I mean, maybe it could happen. It could be like the same way.
That would be fantastic.
I mean, I don't know if it would happen like that, but like I said, I don't know if a lot of people would just be happy if Bianca really didn't go to WrestleMania, was the one that deserved it, especially with everything that happened. Like the story is there to tell. You know what I mean? So it's I think it has to be Bianca. Because Alexa, I mean, she's coming back too, but Alexa versus Becky is like.
They need time to still work with Alexa. They can't have her come back in gimmick over there. Like, there's no way she's going to show up in gimmick. She's just going to be the old Alexa for now. I think.
I feel like in terms of Alexa, they might try to work a storyline in with her and Nikki ASH because, if you remember, they used to be cool. So it's just they might go toe to toe in the chamber, and then they might set off something for that might set off a match for them at Mania or something like that. Yeah, I feel like that's the route that they're gonna go with Bliss.
Yes, they used to be tag team champions together. Remember that?
That wouldn't be a bad idea, because I mean that makes sense. So it's all there to tell. So I feel bad for Liv Morgan too, though. A lot of people really like her.
Same.
They dropped the ball with her. I don't want to hear nobody from that.
Yeah, I like Liv Morgan, but I don't think the company really puts her on that pedestal as a lot of fans do. You know what I mean? They don't really. Because originally I thought they should do a multi-person match at WrestleMania with this. You could have did Liv versus Bianca versus Becky in a triple threat or something. You know what I mean? But with the chamber, it's and they're probably not going to go that route.
Well, maybe they could. That's an interesting idea because if they had something similar to a double pin, both shoulders down and a double counter, just something fishy that WWE likes to do every now and then. That's a possibility.
Never know. This match right here, I think, honestly, could be, I'm not going to say the best match tonight, but I think it will be a show still. Usos versus
yeah.
I'm very excited for this tag team match right here. I thought they were going to do this at the Rumble. I don't know. They saved it for this match. Pat, who do you got here?
Oh, the Usos. They're the ones.
They're the ones, Bree.
Definitely the Usos.
Henry, who do you got? The Usos or Viking Raiders?
Man, I want the Viking Raiders to get the belt, but I think the Usos going to retain.
D, what about you?
I'm going to go completely different. I'm going to go Viking Raiders, and I think we get a rubber match for WrestleMania, and they drop the belts back to the Usos at WrestleMania.
Tribal Chief's going to be happy about that. Bree,
I got the Usos, but in terms of them, I was kind of just thinking I don't really see Roman losing his title until the Usos lose theirs, if that makes sense. I feel like before Roman loses his, the Usos will drop theirs, and then it'll be a whole little commotion within the group and whatnot, and then things will start to set up. But the Usos definitely they're the ones.
This one, The Miz versus Rey Mysterio. Before we get to this, does anybody think Dominic's really going to turn on Rey? You guys think that's coming?
I don't.
No.
Honestly, I think it happens. I want to see it happen. I want to see him turn on Rey Mysterio.
They teased it at Rumble, but it was nobody really wanted to see that.
Full-blown heel, Eddie Guerrero, 2005 types. I want him to suplex Rey on the steps, make that man bleed. I need that. And the story is there. I
think that's what they'll do when Rey's ready to leave. I don't think they'll do that now. I think we'll get it eventually, but I don't think it's. I think that's the way that Ray's gonna like step aside and he's gonna go on his own. I don't think that's gonna happen.
WWE likes to rush things here and there, you know. So I mean, like they do like to rush things.
How much is left in Ray's contract?
He's got a couple of years, but like if that's what they want to do, I don't think Ray's gonna be like, no, we're not doing that. But, all right, I guess that's what we're doing. So I mean, because like originally he said when Dom was first coming up, the plan was for him supposed to go to NXT and everything. But then like they said they wanted to do him versus Rollins. All right, like that wasn't. It just happened. So all right, then I guess this is what we're doing. So this probably could extend to Mania too. I can see this because the Miz is not doing stuff with Edge anymore. So this probably could be something for those guys to do. I think the Miz is going to win here. I think something's going to happen. Like Dominic's going to try to help out Ray, and then gets distracted, and the Miz wins or cheats like that. I think it's going to continue the feud where it's like Dom was trying to help out, but then like the tension between him and Ray are going to be there. So I feel like I think the Miz is going to win. Scott, how about you?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we're going to see more seeds being planted as far as that potential Dominic heel turn. I don't think it's going to happen so soon, but the Miz has been dropping some L's lately, so I think he gets the W.
Bree, what about you?
Originally, I wanted and picked Ray to win, but I'm going to change my pick to the Miz. I think he's going to win.
Bird, we'll go down to you. What do you think?
Same thing. I think the Miz edges out it. I think the Miz edges out a victory thanks to maybe Dominic trying to get back and whatnot and help out his dad, and it's gonna mess that up for him. And Ray's gonna lose the match, and then that's gonna drag out to Mania where I believe Ray might get the dub. So as far as Saudi Arabia, I think the Miz.
D, what about you?
I agree with what you guys have been saying. I think it's going to be Miz. It's going to be some kind of interference or distraction from Ray. And I don't think Maurice is going to be ringside, so that's the only way I could see them doing that, where Miz would win. Would have to be something involving Ray. So I got the Miz.
Yeah. Henry?
I got the Miz.
The Miz for the dub here. All right, so we got 2 more matches left. Let me see in the conversation. The Miz, people going with the Miz too. Rousey, Naomi versus Charlotte and Sonya Deville. I'll start off. So I definitely don't see Charlotte and Sonya Deville winning. I'm just gonna be honest. Sonya Deville is there to take the submission or something. She's there to take the tap out from Ronda or the pinfall from Naomi. She's there to take the fall. There's no way Charlotte get beat. Not until WrestleMania. So I think these 4 could have a good match, but I definitely think Rousey and Naomi are gonna win. I don't see them losing unless Ronda gets taken out the occasion and she's like. I don't know, she got jumped or something, and Charlotte pins Naomi or something like that. But I would definitely go with Ronda and Naomi. What about you?
It's a toss up, but I'm gonna go with Ronda Rousey and Naomi. It won't surprise me if Charlotte and Sonya Deville wins, but I'm gonna go with Ronda Rousey and Naomi.
If Charlotte, okay, so if Charlotte and Naomi, Charlotte, if Sonya do win, how do you think it's gonna happen?
It might have to do some cheating. You know how it is. You know how the heel goes. It might have to do something out of the blue. I don't know, but it's a toss up.
Put their blazer on. You can't touch me.
It's something like that. But it's a toss up. This is a very tough one, and this is also gonna depend on how the momentum is gonna go with WrestleMania, because we all know that Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair is gonna face each other for the title. So this match right here is going to depend on the momentum that's going to carry come WrestleMania.
Scott, what about you, brother? Who do you got?
I feel like this match has the potential to steal the show. I honestly do. When I watched Sonya Deville in her first match against Naomi, I was more than impressed with both superstars in that match. Sonya Deville blew my mind. I think this could be a show stealer. Naomi is going to get the dub over Sonya, therefore Rousey and Naomi get the dub.
G, what about you?
I think it's going to be Ronda and Naomi, but I think Ronda's going to be the one to pick up the win. I think she needs the win going into WrestleMania. I think she needs to have that. So I'm going Ronda, Rousey, and Naomi.
Bree, who do you got winning? What do you think?
It's a tough one. I'm gonna say Ronda and Naomi, but like you said, I think Wanda's gonna win.
Barry, what about you? What do you got, money?
I'm actually gonna go to the opposite and say Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville are gonna win because I had recently I've been watching like a couple of videos and you know how like they taped SmackDown already, so like all that has
Yeah.
happened and whatnot. And I had heard that they had put like some special stipulate that they were thinking about putting some special stipulation on this match to where like Ronda would have to wrestle with one hand tied behind her back because of what she did to Sonya Deville's arm. So if that's the case, then I believe that Charlotte and Sonya will end up picking up the dub, in which Sonya would pin Naomi so that they could run it back at Mania and Naomi could get her win there.
Okay. I mean, I could see Charlotte maybe getting the dub too because she could have the momentum going into WrestleMania because, you know, I don't really see her beating Ronda at WrestleMania. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, she could be the one to kind of get the momentum, like, hey, you know, I paid your partner, you know what I'm saying, like, all that type of stuff. So,
yeah,
I could maybe see that happen. I did see the stuff about that, you know, stipulation stuff that you're talking about. Though. I saw that on those ringside reports. I think that's where I saw that on earlier. So, all right, the last one, the men's chamber match. We got Lashley, Lesnar, Theory, Riddle, Rollins, and Styles. I like this setup. You know, I like that they put two younger guys in here like Riddle and Theory. You know, gives them a chance to be on a main platform where they can shine and showcase what they can do. And then you got, you know, Rollins and AJ Styles, who are two high flyers too, so they can do high spots. And then you probably have the two favorites to win the match. You got Lashley and Lesnar, the two alpha males. So I like the setup here. Oh, I thought hard about this. Honestly, you know, my heart is with Bobby Lashley. It is. But I don't see Brock Lesnar not winning this match. Unless somehow Roman is able to get involved again into the chamber. I don't know. He could pull up a Shawn Michaels and come up from the cage. You know what I'm saying? The cage like Undertaker in the match.
Yep.
But I really think WWE is solely on title for title. I think number one, it's the first time ever, and we all know Vince McMahon loves first time evers. They've never, in the history of WrestleMania, two world champions fight in the main event for both titles. Whether people like it or not, I mean, that's money. It's never been done before, you know. So I think they're set on doing it for the first time ever. I just can't see Brock. I mean, Brock doesn't lose so many matches. You know, he lost the Roman crown jewel. Okay, then he came back and then he won the WWE title. Lost it quickly to Bobby Lashley. So how many matches is Brock going to lose? You know, so it's like I don't know how many matches he's going to lose. So I mean, unless, you know, there could be a way where maybe Brock doesn't get pinned, maybe he gets taken out of the equation. You know, just something happens in the match where he gets taken out and he's, you know, they take him out of the match type thing. So I don't know, but I would love to see Bobby Lashley win and go into WrestleMania as the champion. But I think Brock's gonna win and they're gonna do title for title at WrestleMania. My only thing is if they do the title for title, I really just hope they add a stipulation to the match. I don't think it has an appeal if you do Bobby and Brock again in the one. I mean, Brock and Roman again in the one-on-one match with no stipulation, especially with Paul Heyman turning on, you know, Brock and everything. I think there has to be some type of stipulation, like a Hell in a Cell, a Last Man Standing, something. Make it something. So, Barry, I'm gonna start with you, man. Who do you got here?
For starters, Seth Rollins is my favorite wrestler wrestling like today. So of course, I want him to pick up the dub. I want him to be the WWE champion. I feel like I want to see him with another WWE title run, but it's not gonna happen. Like you said, I feel like they sold on title for title at this point. They were already reporting that they haven't even sold all the tickets for WrestleMania yet. So they need more to like come to that pay-per-view to kind of like sell more tickets. So I feel like Brock Lesnar is gonna come out of this the dub, even though I would prefer Seth Rollins winning.
Bree, what about you?
It's so hard to pick because it's 6 really good wrestlers that I like to watch, but I'm gonna go with Brock.
I think it's hard to bet against Brock.
Yeah.
D, what about you?
I think Brock's gonna win, but you know, there's 2 nights of WrestleMania. There's nothing saying that they can't have Bobby Lashley, Brock one night, and then title for title another. So I'm hoping something happens where we get still Lashley as well, because I think that would be entertaining, and that's kind of like the disadvantage for Brock. You know, if he has a match against Bobby Lashley night 1, Roman doesn't, going in, the two of them makes interesting. But I think Brock is definitely going to walk out with the belt. Hands down.
That's a good theory. They're definitely going to have to pull out the checks for that one. If Brock going to be working 2 nights. Say that. Brock going to have to pull out that money for doing 2 nights. Scott, what about you?
I think it comes down to whether you think they're going to end the brand split or not. If you think they're going to end the brand split, then you got to go with Brock. I personally do not think the brand split is going to come to a complete end. Therefore, I think Bobby Lashley retains the WWE Championship.
I hope you're right, sir. I hope you're right.
Me too. Me too.
Bobby Lashley is my guy. Like AJ Styles is my favorite right now. Would I love to see him win? Absolutely. He's not going to, but I love Bobby Lashley. If they have 2 different brands, they've got Roman doing his thing on SmackDown. They need to make Bobby, minus his mic skills, dominate on Raw the way Roman is dominating on SmackDown.
Henry, what about you, man?
All right, guys, call me crazy, but I would love to see Matt Riddle wins this and have this feud with Randy Orton. But we know that's not going to happen anytime soon. So I need Bobby Lashley to win this. I do not want to see title versus title. I do not want to see it. I don't care what none of y'all say. Bobby Lashley, take this W. Let's go.
Bobby Lashley's pick. I think Bobby could honestly win, though. I mean, I think he could be a favorite. It's just a matter of how. Like, I don't see how they're going to do it as of right now. Like, I'm not sure how that's going to happen.
If this was 6 months ago, I would have said it was Bobby Lashley. But with the run that Brock has been having, I don't know.
He don't lose too many matches. So, like,
yeah.
If he lose, okay, say he doesn't win the Chamber, right? He doesn't win the Chamber. I would say that if he does not win the Chamber, the chances of him beating Roman at WrestleMania are very high for me then at that point. Because that would be 2 straight matches he lost right there. So like he's really gonna lose a 3rd match. You know what I mean? So if he does not win this match, I believe that the possibility of him beating Roman at WrestleMania would be very, very high.
But see,
I disagree. I'm sorry. I disagree just because I think Brock is at the end of his run, and I think he's Brock Lesnar. He's doing what he's done, won the Royal Rumble, but I think he's at the point now where he's starting to put people over.
I mean, maybe it could be that way, but
he might shock everyone.
I think at the end of the day, though, it's at the end of the day, Vince McMahon is the one who makes all the decisions.
What's best for WWE?
I've said this before. Vince McMahon loves Brock Lesnar as much as he loves Roman Reigns.
Probably more.
Those are his 2 guys. Loves them both equally. That's why they're both main event WrestleMania again. Those are both his guys right there. So it's like I would prefer Roman to win, but it's like I could see Brock being the one to beat Roman. I mean, because in Vince's mind, thinking like, okay, who else is believe the same reason he had Brock beat the streak? Okay, who else is more believable to beat Roman at WrestleMania to throw him as a shadow? Besides on the roster I'm looking at right now. Well, we got Drew, we got AJ Styles, but we also got Brock Lesnar. I like Brock Lesnar. So let's go with Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, I'm like I said, maybe there's a way that Brock, I don't know, maybe there's a way he doesn't even get pinned in the match. He gets taken out of the match. During the match something happens. I don't know. There could be maybe the Usos.
The chamber explodes, opens up.
Something crazy happens.
Depends.
Excuse me. I would much prefer to see Bobby win. But okay, I'm gonna ask you this: if Bobby does win, then who does he face at WrestleMania?
Seth Rollins.
You think Seth Rollins?
Seth.
Cody Rhodes.
Rhodes. See, I heard rumors though that if Cody Rhodes was coming back, then he would be facing Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
so that's what I've been hearing. So I mean.
But go back to Bobby Lashley. If he wins, give Big E the shot again.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, they ain't gonna do it.
They haven't
put Big E back into the title picture. Have him come and jump him or something like that, and then give us.
But Big E's back on. He's back on SmackDown though, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's been with Kofi. Yeah, he's been with Kofi.
It was like
what about this?
A couple weeks ago.
What about this? What about if Bobby wins? What about Bobby versus Riddle versus Orton? in a triple threat.
How does that make sense? How does that make
Triple
sense?
threat?
Because
How would they set
Riddle
that?
and Orton are in the team right now, but they're kind of, eventually they're going to split up. You know what I mean? So maybe, maybe something could happen. There could be some type of, battle royal on Raw. And when it
You
goes
think
WrestleMania,
they would? You think they would choose Riddle over Austin Theory with how they've been pushing Austin Theory on TV?
I just think it would make more sense because Riddle has the connection with Randy. You know what I mean? So it's like, if Randy say there was a battle royal on Raw, both guys are the last two that eliminate each other. They both fall out. You know what I mean? Now they're both going to WrestleMania, and that could also kind of plant the heel turn for the feud. Like, Riddle can go into the match thinking, hey, Randy, make the best man win, but Randy's he's old school, so he's like, Riddle, make the best man win. But in the back of his mind, he's like, no, I really want to be the world champion again, and I know what I have to do to be the world champion again. You know what I mean? So maybe it could be something that way, because I will say Seth Rollins versus Lashley would be cool. If Cody Rhodes doesn't come back, I would love Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. I don't want to see AJ Styles Bobby Lashley because I really need AJ Styles versus Edge to happen at WrestleMania. So
Yes.
I need that one to happen. So AJ and Edge, Seth could be thrown in there. Seth Rollins. What about Bobby versus Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens? I know there've been the things going on about Stone Cold coming back and everything, but we don't know. I don't know. As of right now, I don't know if that's happening. So
I hope not.
I'm going off what I hope.
Why couldn't they put Bobby Lashley into a unification match with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns? Make it a triple threat.
How would you get to that point, though? How would that come? Would
Yeah.
they maybe have the match night one?
We have the match. No, we have the match at Royal Rumble with Brock and Lashley. They're going to be facing each other in the chamber. So let's say there's some type of controversial finish. You combine the three, both titles on the line, like a Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda situation, and winner take all.
I think if that happens, it won't be a screw finish here. It'll be like night one of WrestleMania leading into night two, and it'll be a surprise that all of a sudden there's three of them.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. But I mean,
that could be something interesting in there. That could be because they did do it with Charlotte, and everything, and before after they added Charlotte to the match, she won the title. You know what I mean? So she wasn't even the champion when they first announced her going into the match. I mean, she just happened to win the title, and then they made it a unification match. So it could be that. I like the Randy, Riddle, and Lashley idea. I like it. I think triple threat could be interesting. Riddle is upcoming, so he's getting his opportunity. Randy, legend, he wants to get to the record of Ric Flair. Bobby Lashley's now facing two guys who are best friends, but he also knows how Randy Orton can be. So are they really best friends now at this point? Because the title's on the line, So I think
if it was anything else like leading into like SummerSlam or Rumble, I'd say that would be amazing. But going into WrestleMania, I just don't feel like they've put enough on Riddle at this point to do that.
I feel like that can help elevate him, though. I mean, I feel like he can get there. I mean, as of right now, he doesn't feel that way, but sometimes superstars need to be put in big matches to help get up there, to elevate to that spot. I mean, you could look at kind of did with Eddie Guerrero. When Eddie Guerrero fought Brock Lesnar, I mean, Eddie Guerrero was still kind of like in a tag team. He just came off the tag team with Chavo and everything. So now he's facing Brock Lesnar. It's like, well, Eddie Guerrero, he was just in a tag team not too long ago. Now he's facing Brock Lesnar. And now he's the champion. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, if they want to go that route, it could be that way. It depends. It really just depends, of how they feel about Riddle. And Austin Theory as well. I think Austin Theory has a bright future there. I hope. I think Austin Theory, maybe could be better as far as the mid card title. Maybe he'd be like Damian Priest for the title or something like that. Give him a U.S. title and see how that happens. How that could work out. But this is the most unpredictable match on the card for me, just for the fact of
there's so much going on in this match with so many different people, and there's so many different storylines that could spawn off from this one match.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many rabbit holes.
I definitely feel like Brock will definitely be last. It'll be the last one to come out of the pod. So it's like, and when he comes in, he's gonna wreak havoc. So he's coming in, he's coming.
Suplex City all day.
This match is definitely kind of unpredictable, but at the same time, it's just I don't think Vince would have put Brock in the chamber if Brock wasn't gonna win it. Yep. I don't think he would have put Brock in the chamber if he wasn't gonna win it. So that thought alone just kind of has to set in my mind that Brock is gonna.
See, that's what makes Brock Lesnar interesting, because he has that aura. Because it's really hard to bet against Brock in certain occasions. You know what I mean? Like certain matches, you kind of know he's gonna win here, but then you really don't know. You know what I mean? So it's like, even going into the Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar match, I had Brock Lesnar winning. I think he was gonna lose. You know what I mean? But
I had Lashley.
Same.
I had Brock winning because my theory was it was going to be the opposite. I thought that Roman would lose, and he would win the Rumble and go on to WrestleMania and challenge Brock, but it was reverse psychology. So, and it's just now like I don't know. Since Brock has come back, he only lost a minimum amount of time. You know what I mean? There was a point in time where he won for like five years in a row. He wasn't losing at all. You know what I mean? So it's just when it comes to Brock, you don't really know how many times he's really going to lose, and I don't know. With him being put in the chamber, I feel like he would be put in there for a reason. Because it's in Saudi Arabia too, so it's like, okay, if Goldberg's not going to win, then maybe Brock does win and he leaves at the champion because people over there, they love it, they'll be happy. So it's not like they're not gonna.
Yeah, that's another factor too. Is you have to remember where they are and what would go over well with them and that crowd and what they probably prearranged, right? Like, if it was back in the U.S., maybe the outcome would be different than where they are. Like, there's the whole nostalgia factor and everything, but I mean, there's always what I want to happen and what I know WWE will probably do. And Brock is probably what they're going to do.
I will say, though, if Brock does win, I don't think it will bother me as much because I'm really into what he's doing right now as far as his gimmick and everything. I'm invested into Brock now because he's just different now with his character. If
I just want to see his entrance in a WrestleMania. Does anybody else think he's going to come in on a moose?
A moose? I like to see him come out as like a Viking or something. Like one of the Viking.
Canadians aren't Vikings, but we have moose.
Brock is not Canadian though. He lives in Canada, but he's American. He's born in America.
No, but he's pulling the whole "I'm a lumberjack" thing.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe he could do something.
That'd be funny.
Maybe he can have a cowboy interest. I don't know, but maybe
comes out with the Mountie.
A bunch of cowboys come out and he just I don't know. Like I feel like Brock should have a WrestleMania entrance this year. Like they should do something.
I think it'd be funny. Or like a big ATV or something, country boy. I don't know.
I'm interested to see what goes down. Okay, so if you guys have some questions you want to ask in the chat, feel free to ask some questions. I want to ask you guys. So let's switch over to the Cody Rhodes thing. What do you guys think about this? You guys think this is a legit thing, or you guys think this is like a swerve, or what do you guys think? Do you think he's really gonna come back to WWE?
Yep.
You think it's gonna happen?
Yep, I think it's gonna happen. Money does wonderful things, and WWE is a little bit more flexible in regards to how many dates they're going to make him do, probably. And he can probably keep all of his side projects going on. And then also Brandy would probably come back. I can see her coming back and trying to have a run in WWE because now she's a wrestler. Do I want to see that? I don't know. But I could definitely see them both coming over. And it's a big deal.
Oh,
it's a huge deal. And I think it's either this or he buys ROH, and I don't think he's buying ROH.
Henry, what about you? You got something to say?
I'm like in the middle, but since it looks like reports that Cody is really gonna come to WWE, might as well. I don't know if him and Tony Khan had like differences and how the direction that they wanted to go with the brand and also the direction that Cody wants to go in AEW. I don't know what's the issue, but if that's the case, then hey, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, every wrestler makes their decisions. Like we can't make them for them. Like we could say like this person should go here, this person should go there, but at the end of the day, they have their own decisions to make, and we can't be upset with them because at the end of the day, they make their own decisions. So if Cody feels comfortable to come back to WWE, that's a decision that he makes, and that's something that we have to be complacent about.
Scott, what about you, man? What are you thinking?
So I got two opinions on this. I feel that one, I think this is not a work. This is not a work at all. Cody Rhodes coming back to the WWE is a win for the WWE. It's a win. Like Vince McMahon is getting the guy that is responsible for AEW to come back to his company, and it's a win. Now, because of Cody leaving AEW, this also makes me judge Tony Khan. Because again, to what I just said, Cody Rhodes is the guy responsible for AEW, not single-handedly, but he's the face of it. And for Tony Khan, I feel like everybody's just been patting Tony on his back so much that he's developed quite an ego. And for him to to feel confident and my take almost arrogantly let Cody Rhodes walk away from his brainchild, like what he wanted to do, starting with All Out or All In or whatever, whichever one it was. It kind of makes me just kind of judge Tony Khan a little bit. But I think it's a huge deal, and I think Cody Rhodes coming back to AEW. And who's to say that this is not something that could potentially be a bridge to let WWE and AEW work together? What if Cody did leave on good terms with Tony, and then he can kind of, like I said, be that bridge. He can be the middle ground for these guys to kind of do something together. That's how I feel.
Bree, what about you? What do you think here?
I definitely don't think it's a work, but they obviously had to have offered him perhaps a little more money than what Tony was trying to offer him. But I'm hoping he'll come back for Mania, but to face Seth. But it's a matter of like if he'll come back soon, or I don't know. I'm anxious to see if he does come back.
Bird, what do you think here? What do you think? Thoughts on this?
I kind of really like. I'm kind of really vibrating with what Scott said as far as like the whole like being a bridge and all that. But like I hope it's a work. I really do. I hope this is a way that they turn Cody Rhodes heel in AEW. It's probably not going to be that because of all of the people wishing him the best in their future endeavors on Twitter, and there were reports of WWE officials basically just like, high-fiving it and celebrating it. They wouldn't celebrate if it was a work. So it's probably not a work, but I kind of hoped it was so they could turn Cody Rhodes heel in AEW. I had been to a couple AEW shows. I had seen Cody Rhodes and just the way the fans treat him. And I was there one night when he threw his belt in the crowd, and then we threw it back at him, and then he threw it back in the crowd, and then they were chanting for the crowd to throw it back at him, but he didn't. But I see the way that the crowd treated him, and it's just like I kind of wanted him to be heel in AEW, and I'm kind of sad that he's not there anymore because I feel like I really kind of like resonated with the stuff that he was doing over there, and I feel like when he goes back to WWE, like it's gonna be cool for like maybe a month and a half, maybe 2, but it's gonna get to the point where they're gonna start shitting on him again. I feel like they're gonna do that again, and I do not want that to happen for Cody Rhodes.
They were booing the crap out of him in New York.
I think.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna say, like, we keep talking about him coming back and being in ring. What if he just comes back, has a short run, and he's actually backstage? Maybe WWE is seeing the value that him and Brandy have to like start building up people, start working on NXT, start, doing that kind of thing. Maybe he does like, 50-50. Like, does anybody think that? Because Cody Rhodes helped develop a lot of people and bring up a lot of people. And maybe that's where they see the value in him.
I don't think of it that way.
That would be awesome.
What does he think of himself to actually allow that to happen, though? Like, would he be willing to take that step back?
I don't see him coming back unless he knows he's gonna have number one.
No, like he'll still have matches, like he'll still wrestle, but I still think that they see also value in him long term for what he's done for AEW and talent.
See, I feel like he's not gonna come back unless he knows he's gonna have a secured spot on TV that is going to make him happy. Like he's not coming back with Stardust. He's not coming back, in the mid cards.
He comes back, he's gonna be a main eventer.
Yeah,
yeah.
And honestly, like that's my 2 things. Number 1, he comes back, don't bring back Stardust. And number 2, I want him to keep his theme that he has right now.
Same.
His actual and honestly, I mean, this is just me, but I'm just speaking for myself. I can't speak for anybody else. But if he comes back, I would love to see him be the one to beat Roman Reigns. Oh my gosh, what I love to see.
Yo, people gonna go crazy. Oh my goodness.
I didn't even think about that.
I would love to see him be, and I love Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is my favorite wrestler right now in wrestling, no matter what promotion. But
because Roman keeps saying there's nobody who's back there who's better than me, and it's like, well, Cody, I wasn't back there.
Because Cody wouldn't win the world title in AEW because he just, he just kind of knew that if he did, the fans would just shell over. You know what I mean? Because he kind of made the company. But this is WWE. Vince McMahon don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? He'll push. He don't matter if they're gonna boo Cody, they're gonna cheer Cody. If you can do whatever you want. He made that clear with John Cena. And he made that clear with Roman Reigns for years. I don't care how you react to these guys. As long as you're reacting, these guys will get pushed.
it makes sense what you're saying. Like, because nobody can beat Roman. Roman's almost untouchable
So
at this
imagine
point.
if Cody came back and beat Roman Reigns and he's the Universal Champion. Oh my gosh, that would be like. Oh.
Again, Roman's promos, he keeps saying that there's nobody back there that can beat me, and Cody shows up and he's like, "Man, I just got here."
I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. If I could pick anybody like in my fantasy booking, I would do it. Like I would in my GM mode on WWE2K, I would book that right now.
I don't see Cody coming back to WWE as a face though. He has to be a heel.
I think he made this comeback kind of as how he was in AEW. Like he's just Cody Rhodes. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
he is
it's
both.
kind of like to plan things out a little bit. So maybe he makes it like, you know what? I want you to kind of do the same stuff you were doing, cut the same promos, and then when you beat Roman, say like he beats Bro and he cuts champion. Now he could be like, fuck all y'all, like I'm the champion. Like, now he can be like, now he can be like, I can do what I want here. Like I ain't gotta worry about how y'all react to me. You know what I'm saying? I can be the world champion, over here and love every bit of it. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like that would. I'm not sure that's something that Vince would do, but it's like, man, I just feel like that would have like so much like shock value to it.
Do you think they might wait and hold off till SummerSlam? Like maybe wait and like people speculate even longer and then have him pull the trigger at SummerSlam?
I feel like, well, as of right now, I mean, we don't know if Cody Rhodes is coming, but there's only two people I really see beating Roman right now. It's either Brock or Drew McIntyre. If it's not going to be Brock, if it's not going to be Brock at WrestleMania, then more than likely I think it'll be Drew McIntyre. If Roman does retain at WrestleMania, I could possibly see him going to the 2-year mark to get to that record. But if Cody does come, that could change a lot of plans, though. I mean, like, I feel like that's something they have to consider, though. Like, man,
I don't know. Like, it would be amazing because it happens so soon. Like all of a sudden, it's like he's gone, and then boom, he's at WrestleMania. But I'm just wondering if they're going to sit on it for a bit.
Because I feel like if he comes back, I think Seth will be the perfect opponent because Seth is like the WWE guy. You know what I mean? Like he defends WWE on social media. Remember him and Will Ospreay had that exchange at one point, like on social media and everything. Like he's a WWE guy. So for him to go against Cody, Cody was the guy that left started on promotion. Seth could be like, you don't belong here. Like, you try to compete against us.
Yeah.
Were they in ROH at the same time at all?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
No, I think Seth was still in the Indies on the developmental system, and Cody was on the main roster.
I thought he did ROH late. I thought Cody did ROH stuff late.
Yeah, when he left ROH, Seth Rollins was already Seth Rollins by the time he Go ahead, Scott.
I was gonna say you guys are talking about Seth. I can see that just as easily being AJ Styles.
Yeah, I mean
that would
Cody
be
versus AJ.
Let me see them. They don't get edge.
Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Not at Mania. Not at Mania. No.
Not chill.
AJ, yeah.
There's another guy too. Balor there. He was in Finn Balor.
Absolutely.
Too.
We haven't seen Balor in a while either, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Vince
and they're not using.
He's invisible. Yeah, they don't do nothing with him. So,
in AEW, they're not. Oh, sorry.
Or my gosh, the perfect. I just thought of this. The booking on my mind too now. Cody Rhodes comes back. Imagine. Because we're talking about WWE guys. What if at WrestleMania he beats Cena? Because Cena's like the ultimate WWE guy. Like we're talking about WWE guys. Like this guy, like is like the ultimate poster guy. But if he came back, if he comes back in his first match against Cena and he beats Cena, because Cena's he'll leave and something else. But like I think that could help go as far as like up to the top because like Cena's like he's the ultimate WWE guy, can defend the company and everything. He's like, in the promos too. Just imagine what I'm saying in the promos too, like against Cody. Like, oh my gosh, like, and Cody can come back too.
No, I think that's an awesome thought. I also think that like we might be rushing into Cody returning so soon, and the rumors are he could show up as early as this week on television. But if they hold off and wait until WrestleMania. Wait until WrestleMania for him to show up. That would be
night after. There's always something night after WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody said in the chat they'd love to see. I mean, I think that would be the match we all want to see would be Cody versus Triple H, but Triple H ain't wrestling anymore. So
that's unfortunate.
Hunter is done.
That would be honestly. I think he has to be at WrestleMania. Like it needs to be like
I
WrestleMania
think
is.
it's a good coming back after. Actually, I think that'd be interesting because I can't see what else they would pull out the night after WrestleMania.
I mean, they haven't done anything in the next WrestleMania in a while, so I mean that could be
Yeah.
something they could do. But I mean, I feel like for me, if I can get Cody Rhodes, I'm getting Cody Rhodes as soon as I can, and he's coming to Raw Monday, and we starting off WrestleMania right there. Like whoever Seth Rollins come out, something's gonna happen because I feel like, or even come out of WrestleMania. Like imagine Roman Reigns beats Brock, he's the champion, and then he's celebrating in the ring, and all of a sudden the music hits. I mean, and then like crowd goes crazy, and the last thing you see on WrestleMania is Cody and Roman in the ring staring down each other. You know what I mean? And then WrestleMania goes off the air. So now the next day on Raw, you're like, oh shit, like what's happening here?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That sounds like if he doesn't wrestle at WrestleMania and he's not announced, and then he shows up. Like I actually like that idea a lot.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful scenario. I think for me, I think it would be better to see him show up at WrestleMania during maybe an Edge and AJ Styles match, because honestly, what I think is going to happen, I think at the end of the Roman Brock match at WrestleMania, we're going to have Roman win, and that's when you see Dewey himself to lead up to next year's WrestleMania.
The Rock, yeah, I think that probably.
The Rock. I'm sorry, Dwayne Johnson, Dewey.
I think that probably could happen because like you could see Roman in the ring celebrating, and all of a sudden The Rock comes out and everything, and that'll be
that music hits because it's going to be how you leave them, and that music hits, boy, that's going to leave everybody just.
Because then they know they can start selling tickets for WrestleMania the next night.
Yeah.
It'll be sold out.
Well, they did it with Rock Cena. They had that whole year build up.
See,
so they can do it again.
Honestly, going back, that was 10 years ago, so I was 15 at that time. And honestly,
oh my god, we're so young.
I didn't know if honestly I could wait that long. Like the whole year, like every day, like the anticipation for it, like every day I thought about it.
Same.
But it got better and better and better as it went on.
We talked about it in school, like bro, like we 30 days away now. Like we getting there. Like, it's a month away. Like we've been waiting almost a year now.
Like Christmas.
So I mean, I could see them doing something like that because it's in LA too. So Los Angeles is the Rock back home and everything. So it's like it's there. It's there to tell for that. So I definitely could see that happening. There have been some possibilities of that happening. I think, plus that gives the Rock a whole year to get his schedule, figure it out and everything, to figure out what he's gonna do,
and we know it's in Hollywood next year.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, I feel like that could happen. What about I want to ask you about these rumors about Austin, man? What do you guys think about this? Rumors about they want to get Austin in a match or?
I'll just start off by saying it's probably going to happen, but I don't know if I want it to happen just because of what happened with Shawn Michaels. Just because you can come back doesn't mean you should. I love Austin.
Yes.
I'm a huge Austin fan. I always have been. If he comes back and he has a match against KO, it makes sense. They're making KO hate Texas. I mean, it could be an easy couple-minute match, but just because it can happen doesn't mean it should. And as a fan, I'd be okay with not seeing that.
I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it if Stone Cold wants to do it. I'm not gonna say he can't do it.
I'm just concerned health-wise. You gotta have somebody who can really protect him.
He hasn't been in the ring a long time, so I mean, I don't know how I feel about his opponent being Kevin Owens. Though. I mean, if he gonna come back, he gotta
huge. He's huge on KO.
I feel like he gotta go up against somebody with a bigger name, though. For me, like his last match was against The Rock. You know what I mean, like Kevin Owens ain't The Rock. So,
they could always do him and Brock, because him and Brock 2002, we got that blow off.
That I would be interested in. I can get behind that because that makes sense. The stories are there because that was going to happen. Then we know Austin left and everything, so I mean, there's a story right there. But I mean, I just feel like he's gonna come back. I really wouldn't get into it unless he faced like Cena or like Lesnar or like somebody with the big name for me. Like Kevin Owens would be cool, but it's like, first off, I'm gonna say this: I don't see him come back with the black trunks either. Like, I don't see him coming out in the black trunks. I don't see how that happening. But I feel like maybe he doesn't even do it, man. Like a segment, like something like the Boneyard match type thing, like something like that.
If they were to have a match with him and Kevin Owens, though, it could be a brawl, and he could show up in jeans and a t-shirt, and it could be 10 minutes.
It could be a fight at WrestleMania. Maybe it's not even a match. He's like, you know what? You want me? We're fighting at WrestleMania. Not even a match. Meet me backstage. You can start from backstage to the ring.
But he had a ring delivered to his house. If he's just gonna fight, fisticuffs. Why would he have a ring? Why would he be running the ropes?
Yeah.
And maybe it is going to happen. I don't know. What about you, Scott?
So, all right, this is how I feel. I would love to see him there. I don't want to see him in a match. Because, all right, let's say Stone Cold comes back. This is my hypothetical thinking. Let's say Stone Cold comes back in a match, official match. Is he taking an L? Probably not.
No.
Okay. So he's probably getting a W. So what does that say for Kevin Owens? If he's wrestling Kevin Owens, that means Kevin Owens is taking the L. That's going to kill Kevin Owens' career. That's going to make him the ultimate jobber. Now, on the flip side, let's say Kevin Owens beats Stone Cold Steve Austin. What does that do for Kevin Owens' career in that aspect? So it just depends on how it would play out. Personally, like with a lot of you guys, I'm 20 years later, almost 60 years old with neck and knee injuries. I don't necessarily think it's a good idea, nor do I want to see a Goldberg and Undertaker situation. But if he comes back, kind of like what Owen did with Corbin, even though it didn't do anything for Corbin's career. But if he comes back and Kevin Owens beats Stone Cold Steve Austin in Texas,
idol.
What does that do for Kevin Owens' career?
But see, that's the thing, though. They have to do something with him if he's going to be Austin. I mean, that's an if, though.
They signed him for a lot of years for a lot of money. I can't picture them not doing something else.
I would much rather see him face a legend that's already stabbed. Like if he fought Randy Orton, he could beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania. That's not going to affect Randy Orton because Randy Orton's already self-made. He could beat a John Cena, Brock Lesnar. Those guys are already self-made. That's why I would much rather see him face the guy with the bigger name value because realistically, yeah, Kevin Owens could be. I mean, if he does beat Austin, that'd be huge. But I still don't even trust that they would even do nothing with him after that. You know what I mean? So it's like for me, I would much rather see Austin either be the host of WrestleMania, host the show in Texas and everything, or even if he does a little segment in the ring, maybe he does a little brawl in the ring. Him and Kevin Owens can have some type of, not even a match. Maybe Kevin Owens comes out at WrestleMania, he craps on Texas, Austin comes out, they do a little fight, 10 minutes, a little brawl here and there. Austin do a stunner, the crowd goes crazy, yeah, everybody's happy, drink some beers.
But then you kill KO by doing that.
Yeah,
not really, because
Kevin Owens makes him look weak.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look what Rock did with Rowan. It was like a 30-second impromptu match. You know what I mean? Rowan isn't Kevin Owens, but I'm saying like something that could happen.
But you also have to look at the moments too. It would be a moment for number one Kevin Owens' career, and this because he got in a fight with Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't mean he got into a fight. So like, and it's in Texas, so like, what do you expect? Like, Austin comes out, he comes out, everybody drinks beers, and that's something that people would want to see, like him drinking the beers, everything. That's people would be happy to see that in Texas. So it's like. I feel like that would be something, it's kind of like, they did the same year in Texas when Austin came out with Shawn Michaels and Foley and they beat up Rousey.
I loved that. I was all for that.
Same thing.
Cool.
It could be the exact same thing. Kevin Owens comes out, he's like, Texas is crap and whatever, and then glass shatters, everybody's gonna lose their minds, glass shatters. So I feel like that's something that could happen. Bird,
I'm pretty much on the same page with everybody else. I like Stone Cold. I don't care to see him wrestle right now. I don't want to see it. It's not a good idea. 60-year-old with injuries upon injuries upon injuries. It's not a good idea. But if it does happen, it's most likely going to be against KO, in which KO would take the L and kill him, which really wouldn't make sense for KO. But I mean, where I stand is I just don't want to see it. I'm not interested in that. I'd much rather see him like, if you want to come back and have him like be in a segment and like where KO's talking shit on Texas and he beats the shit out of KO, that's fine. That's cool. But like, don't like an actual match, like it's not necessary. You don't need it.
Yeah. Where's Cody Rhodes from?
Cody Rhodes is from Georgia.
He's from Georgia?
He's in Georgia.
I think
he lives in Georgia too.
I was gonna say if he was a Texas boy, you could throw that in there too. But okay.
I was thinking that originally. When I heard about Cody Rhodes, I'm like, is he from Texas? Because he could come in and go against KO.
Yeah.
See, I will say though,
I would rather see that.
With the Austin thing, you don't really know how it could turn out until it happens, type thing, because you have your concerns. I will say though, I was devastated by the Shawn Michaels thing, and I hated Shawn Michaels payback for the match because Shawn Michaels the way he went out was just the
It was
best,
perfect.
but the best way I've ever seen somebody go out. That storyline
was
was
perfect.
incredible. The match was amazing, but he came back. DX vs. Brothers Destruction, in 2000 or 2005 would have been
because of Shawn Michaels, though.
It was pretty bad.
That match was terrible, but it wasn't because of Shawn. It was because of Triple H's torn pec. It was because The Undertaker was terrible in the ring. Kane was awful in the ring.
Well, yeah, but like everything, like you were hoping that wouldn't go wrong in that match went wrong. That's what I'm saying. Like
exactly.
Everything you were hoping wouldn't happen happened. Same thing with Undertaker and Goldberg. You wanted, these guys are old. You wanted to believe they can do something, but what happened is what we didn't want to see happen, and it happened.
They almost killed each other.
Literally, they have to take White out to his history now.
Honestly, I would much rather like Austin come back and just do something with like a legend or something. Like I just feel like it would be better, or like a brawl, have a segment, some type of brawl or something. Cool with that, you know what I'm saying? But like an actual match though, it's like I don't know about that. I mean, like
fuck it. If you're gonna re-sign Goldberg, put him in the match with Austin. There you go.
Oh gosh, Goldberg. And
oh
Austin.
God, no! Trying to kill him?
Oh no.
I mean, look. If you look at it realistically, I mean, it wouldn't be long. 5 minutes, tops.
It would not be long.
Someone's going to the upper room.
Get his shit in, and call it a day. So I mean, it could be something. Could be something, and I know they would do it too. Because I know Goldberg would be doing it for it. Because he's already said Austin's the one guy he didn't get the face that he wanted to face. I mean, so it's like, but again, it's like it's 20 years too late. If this was the invasion angle, sure, love it. Austin Goldberg, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? DX vs. Brother Destruction. This was 2005. I'm all for it. Let's do it. This would be amazing. But some things are done too late. You know what I mean? So it's like there have been rumors out there talking about trying to get another big name for WrestleMania. I've heard Shawn Michaels be thrown out there. I've heard Austin be thrown out there too. So it's like, Well,
that big name, I think that's why I think it's going to be The Rock, because that other big name, I just think he's going to show up at the end of the show, and I
can't think of anybody else. Who else can you think of? I can't think of
Cena, but he already had his run at the end of last summer.
Yeah, so I mean, like, Cena can still be big, but it's like, I don't know. They're talking about like it's gonna be like a big surprise. I can't think of anybody. I can't think of anybody else. I mean, it's like I don't know who else they could bring back that is out there that people are thinking of. Like, I'd love to see him. It's like the Fiend or something that nobody expecting. So it's like,
how great would that be? How great would that be?
That'd be phenomenal. What if WrestleMania with Roman as a champion and the Fiend just came out and took out Roman and WrestleMania went off the air?
I'd scream like a little girl. I would fucking love it. I would love it.
I mean, realistically, I'm not saying that it wouldn't happen. It really just depends now. Because like I said, some of the people they released, I feel like Bray Wyatt's kind of like the Cody Rhodes thing. Like, he's not going to come back unless he knows that his shit is going to be better than what it was before. Like, I need to know for sure that we're not going to be doing this and doing that. We're going to be doing this, and this is what it is. Like, I can see Cody Rhodes being like, you know what, I'll come back for a year. I'm going to sign in 1 year. We'll see how the year goes, and after the year, we can talk after that. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that happen. So maybe Bray can something. All right, let's do a year. Let's see how it goes down, and then we'll see what happens after that year. You know what I mean? Like, that's what, at least if that was Cody, that's what I would do. I would do it the smart way. I'm not signing 5-year deals. Hey, let's do it 1 year. Yeah. Then after that 1 year comes up, okay, let's do another 1 year. After that 1 year comes up, we'll do a 2 year. Let's see how that goes. So
he's talked about winding down now too. That he has like family and stuff. He's talking about like kind of stepping away. So if that would be the case, he could do a year. But as I said, like where I'd really like to see Cody is eventually helping develop talent.
Another thing I want to point out too is some people may not know, but Kenny's contract comes up next year, and some people may not know, but Kenny was very close to going to WWE when the whole AEW was going around. He went and visited at the headquarters and everything. Like, he was serious about maybe going there at one point. So the main reason they say he didn't go there was because of creative control, like the creative aspect. But like, things are changing.
Maybe if him and Cody both go, they might be able to put that.
I mean, if Cody goes there, maybe Kenny. I'm just saying, like WWE could if they get. Goodness, they can pick up on Kenny and Cody in a year.
That's why this time right now is just like this era or this moment is one of the best times to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah,
I mean, like because as we're talking, anything can happen nowadays, and it's just a phenomenal thing, and it's just so much joy, so many possibilities. It's endless right now.
Well, as you said too, that first run of AEW guys, all of their contracts are coming up.
Yeah.
So a lot of those guys might just be like, see ya.
Plus, you got to think too, like, you know, AEW's rosters continue to get more stacked. They keep signing names. People aren't going to be able to be used as much as they want. You know what I mean? So it's like, how many people are going to be happy back there? You know, Brian Cage's been saying that he's been unhappy because they don't do nothing with him. So it's like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but now there's going to be a new place for people to go.
Also,
Maybe.
I just saw today that Braun Strowman and EC3 have officially made it that they are starting their own wrestling organization.
That's what I'm saying. They could go somewhere else.
Exactly. So many options now. It's wonderful.
They got their own promotion there. I think they said something like the fans are in control or something like that too. Like as far as creative aspect, like something with like a creative aspect, like the fans can have some type of control or something like that. I don't know, but there's a lot of things happening. I mean, there's a lot of
Twitter polls. Who will wrestle tonight?
there's a lot of things happening, especially because, like I said, you know, maybe that's one of the reasons Cody went to leave. Like, hey, you know, we keep signing all these big people, but like other people that I wanted to build up that have a lot of potential too. But if we keep signing all these big names, which it gets why you sign these big names because they have name value, but maybe Cody could be like, hey, well, what about this guy and this guy? Like, I see a lot in this guy, but if you keep bringing in the Punks and the Bryans and the Keith Lees and the Karrion Crosses, like, you know, these guys aren't going to be able to showcase what they can do type thing. So maybe that has a lot to play with it. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing is we don't know what it's like backstage. We don't know how it's run. We don't know what it feels like to work back there. And that's another thing too, is like people eventually have to look at being like, hey, like I'm a star. I'm not being utilized. Yeah, I'm making a paycheck, but why not make a paycheck somewhere else where I can be used? And that's the thing is AEW has so much talent that literally like, they're having to create shows to get talent on TV. Like it's crazy. Eventually something's got to give.
If you guys had to, so I'm going to ask, we'll go around. If you guys had to guess between Cody Rhodes, you think he shows up before Mania or after Mania? If you had your gut instinct, I'm gonna say before. I think he's coming before WrestleMania. I don't know when.
I'm with you before Mania.
I'm gonna say before.
Oh yeah, same. Just because they saying they're not selling enough tickets, so what better way to sell more tickets than to get Cody Rhodes in before Mania? So
yeah,
I agree. Yep.
Yeah, they need to push tickets. So ideally, I would like it to be like at the end of actual WrestleMania as a surprise. But if they need to draw, that's how they can draw.
As far as Austin goes, do you think he will be in an actual match like itself, or you think it'll be more of some type of like physical brawl or something?
I hope not a match.
No, I don't think he's gonna be a match.
I wanna talk a little bit. I'm in the middle with Austin. Like if he does have a match and stuff, a little kid will come out of me because I've seen Austin, you know, growing up in the Attitude Era, things of that nature. But I am concerned because at the end of the day, you know, he is old. He has history of injuries, and the last thing we want is him not being healthy. So because he had one match with Kevin Owens, so I'm in the middle. If the match happens, hopefully nothing crazy happens. But I'd rather have him do a segment than have a match itself, because the last thing we want is Austin being hurt. So is Austin being more hurt that he has been with the injuries that he has in the past.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say he doesn't have a match. I think it's gonna be some type of segment. I'll never forget watching in the WrestleMania 19 documentary and him talking about how much pain he was in. He retired when he was 38 years old. He could have went another 10 years if he was healthier. You know what I mean? But the way he was feeling and the way he went out, I think he knows is number one. The way he went out was pretty cool for him to do it, and I just feel like after all these years, if he was going to come back, I think he would have done it by now, because I remember there were rumors years ago when they were pushing hard, maybe like 10 years ago, for him to come back and face John Cena. And he said he almost did it. It was very close, but at the end of the day, it's something he just couldn't do. And like, it's just not coming back. He's not, I don't think he's going to be a match. I think it's going to be more maybe a segment or something. I think it'll be some type of segment, but I don't see a match happening.
I don't want it to happen, but I can't picture there being all these rumors and all this news and, you know, him getting a ring. I can't picture all of that happening without a match. Like he's done segments and stuff before, and we've never had this kind of buzz. We've never had these kind of things come out. So as much as I don't want it, I think with the buzz and the ring and the talks, he's probably gonna have a match.
What about you, Scott?
I'm on board with. I mean, it's a coin toss. It's like Dee said, we don't know what's going on backstage, so we're just all speculating. We're all assuming. Do I want to see a match? No. Do I think he's going to be there in some shape or form? Yes. I'll tell you this: if he's been doing his DDP yoga, I think he could do a match.
Oh, yeah,
Well, the thing too is he wouldn't come back unless he was like 100%. I'm good to do this.
That's what I said. He's not going to do nothing unless he knows he for sure it feels good.
And the man is ripped.
He's not going to come back unless he knows for sure, like, you know, he's good to go. His body is able to do the things they could, you know, do. You know what I mean? So, I mean, for all we know, he could have a match with Kevin Owens at a warehouse, you know, just to see what it feels like. You know what I mean? So
a cinematic match, yeah.
Yeah, just what it feels like. But I think it'll be more of like a segment or something. I don't know. As far as the match thing goes, I feel like if he was going to come back and do a match, like I said, he would have done it a long time ago. He's getting older.
He's had more surgery since then. Things have progressed. Like, look at Edge. Like, there's so many of these people who have been told you'll never wrestle again, and they're being cleared. Like, look at Corey Graves. He was told you'll never, ever wrestle again, and he was in a lot of pain. And now he's had surgeries and physio, and he's cleared.
Yeah. I mean, these people do keep coming back over and over again, but I don't know. I think Austin is just different. Like I said, I feel like if he's going to come back, he would have done it. You know, I feel like when he left, I know he talked about that he was, you know, in a bit of depression for a while when he left and everything because he wasn't able to wrestle anymore and everything. But, like, I've heard him talk about multiple times the opportunity presented itself for him to come back, and he just said he's at peace with where he's at. You know what I mean? Like, there's no need for him to come back, he said. So, I mean, I just feel like if he's going to do something at WrestleMania, which I think he will, I think he'll be there because it's in Texas. So, I mean, I think he'll do some type of aspect. But as far as him putting on the trunks and getting back with I don't see it. I think those days are over with. I think he's put that behind him. I feel like he'll maybe do more of like a segment or something, cinematic match, some type of physicality in the ring with Kevin Owens or something, which could be fine. But, I mean, if he does do a match, I'd be really surprised. I'd be intrigued by it just for the fact to see, like, I would want to see what he can do still. Like, oh, maybe, can he still do it? But, like, the injury aspect would also worry me too. Like, I don't want to be hurt, but it's like, if it's something he feels like he can do, I got to respect that. So I'm interested to see.
The cinematic match, though, is a really good idea because you could film that. He could do it on his ranch, push his beer, and he could do it safely where they're actually cutting it, where, you know, he's doing physical stuff, but he's not pushing himself to the limit live.
I mean, yeah,
so that's really smart.
They could do like a cinematic match they could record, and then that could maybe like lead to the ring. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they could do that and lead to the ring, so it could be recorded and already in the ring. So I mean, they did that with the House of Horrors match. They did that with that one. They've done it with a couple of them before too. And the cinematic matches, you know, some of the ones they did during the pandemic era were really good. I thought the Boneyard match was phenomenal. It was one of the best things they did. So I'm interested to see what happens. I'm curious.
Would you be for that?
I mean, it could be something that way. I feel like after the Chamber, though, we'll definitely know more of what's once Raw comes back next week. Once they get to Raw, we'll definitely start to know more about WrestleMania because they'll start announcing stuff, and then we'll start to see what picks up and what doesn't pick up. But I'm curious to see what happens though. With the Cody Rhodes thing, with the Austin thing, there's a lot of buzz going around right now, a lot of speculations and rumors. So I'm curious to see what goes down here. So, let's see in the chat. See. Cody comes after Mania, Brock versus Roman, ladder match, Champ versus Brock and Roman in a ladder match. That would be insane.
Oh,
good lord, Brock and Roman in a ladder match. That would be
nah.
Lumberjack match.
Got to find some big ladders for Brock and Roman. I'll tell you that. Some big ladders. I don't even think Brock's ever even been in a real ladder match, like a ladder match, like a real bell to bell ladder match. I don't think he's ever.
I don't think so. Nope.
Speaking of ladder matches, not to kind of go off topic, but I'm kind of excited to see what Keith Lee is gonna do in the Face of the Revolution ladder match, and Wardlow just qualified for it, so now he's in it. I'm really interested in this thing.
Those some big dudes.
I am too. They could. I'm really interested to see the rest of the card too, because they're kind of already rumors of what could possibly happen in there and there. So it kind of seems like they're. I kind of feel like I know the match is going to happen too, but I'm interested to see what the rest of the card looks like as well. So I'm very interested to see how that goes down too. But yeah, guys, we'll go ahead and sign off here. I'll let you guys go ahead and plug in your stuff again so everybody with social media can follow you. Plug in your social medias. We'll start with Bird down here at the bottom so everybody can follow you on your social media stuff.
Once again, I go by Bird. You can find me on Instagram at enigma.j7. And then you can find my my pro wrestling TikTok page at HBBird. Once again, it was an honor to be on. Thank you for having me. I'm always down to do this. I will always make time. It's nothing like talking wrestling with people that love the same things that I love. So it's an honor to be here.
No problem, man. D, go ahead.
You can find me actually on TikTok at dorkwad, and I'd like to thank you guys. It's so nice to talk about wrestling. As I said, and what's funny is a lot of us have such similar opinions that I'm like, if any of this doesn't happen, all of us are gonna be like, what?
Yeah.
Because we're all so similar with our opinions. So
But realistically, we all think we know what's gonna happen, but then Goldberg's gonna win, and then Reynolds gonna win the title, and everything's just gonna disappoint us again.
but this was a lot of fun. Thank you guys.
The chat's gonna be crazy if that happens.
Yeah. Go ahead, Henry.
All right, so Henry, also known as Henry Wrestling. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can follow me on TikTok. Thanks for having me. It was fun talking wrestling with you guys.
Bree, go ahead. Plug in your stuff.
All right. You guys can find me on TikTok at Bree Stout and Twitter at Bree Stout as well. I was so happy to be here. It's so nice talking wrestling with everybody. So I was glad to be here.
Scott, last man standing.
All right. Malik, thank you for having me, guys. It was fun. Pleasure meeting all you guys virtually. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all at Scott Michael LXG. Please come to Nashville, hang out with me for SummerSlam. Let's all have a party for the biggest party of the summer. I am going. I'm taking my family. So let's get something going, guys. That would be so much fun.
I think I will be at SummerSlam, so I may see you there. SummerSlam's not too far. Not too far.
Yes. So let's do it.
That probably will be in the plan. So, and one more thing I want to plug into, guys. I know a lot of y'all been asking me about the Jeopardies, because I haven't done one in a while. I'm taking a little break from the Jeopardies. I'm taking a little break from them, but they will be back before WrestleMania. I promise you. There will be a Jeopardy before WrestleMania. I haven't done one in a while, but just taking a little break from them. They're a lot to make, and to find guests to come in and do them and everything too is a lot as well. So just taking a little break from a little space, but they will be back sometime before WrestleMania. So I'll be doing a WrestleMania trivia actually, strictly the category of WrestleMania. So I will keep you guys updated on that trivia, the Jeopardy for people who want to see on the channel. But make sure you guys give these all a follow on their social media, check them out, check all the wrestling content. They do great wrestling content. And you guys be safe in the chat. And you guys can interact in the chat with everybody's questions or everybody's comments. But I see everybody in here. Some people, I see all the time up in here. Like Scott, you're in here a lot. Endless Blank. Appreciate the support. I see you guys in here all the time, man. So you guys be safe and you guys take care.